Hey ladies, sorry. I hope you're all okay and are tuning in because the link that I made earlier isn't working. I can't go live on that link. So I'm not for sure um, what's going on, but hopefully you guys can tune in and hopefully find this video and tell me. Um, it looks like I'm backwards on mine. So hopefully you can tell me if it looks okay on your end. So just going to go and type a quick text message and make sure everybody knows to tune in because the other link isn't working. So how was everybody's day? It was definitely a Monday. Very Monday-ish. So here is clue number 1, hoping that everybody can find me. And I'm just sending some quick text messages because I know there were people waiting on the other link, and I don't know how it won't let me go live on that link. So I apologize. I thought I was doing everything correctly. I'll do some more research and see what I'm doing wrong, and make sure that in the future, if I send a link, that you'll actually be able to see it and go live. So sorry about that. We do have a couple of neat things going on right now. We've got bonus days going on, so that's kind of fun. For every $50 that you spend, you will earn a $5 coupon to use in August. So that's pretty exciting. Also in July, I have a 42 project tutorial for everybody who orders a minimum $50 order with me will get the Google Doc of 42 different projects with the instructions on how to complete those projects. So it's really cool. So that's kind of fun. So hopefully you can link. I've got the number right here. So we'll go over that later, hopefully, if this is the right side. Hopefully you can see that. And so to place an order. So, and then I will email you that link to that Google Doc so you can get. Oh, hey, Becky, can you at least tell me if it looks clear? But thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. So the bonus days, the July tutorial, the cool thing is in August, the tutorial's all different. Great. Thanks, Becky. Have a good time with your family. So yes, so the bonus days. And then also they just released today that on the 19th, there's going to be a stamp sale. So from all stamp sets from how I understand it, it's all stamp sets in the current catalog, not any online exclusives or clearance, but stamp sets that are actually in the catalog. So if you've been eyeballing one of those stamp sets or a couple stamp sets, those are all going to be on sale on let's see, Wednesday, because today's the 17th, so it would be Wednesday. So hopefully you guys can all check that out, and I'll have the link to that on my Facebook page. So, well, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and hopefully people can catch up. This is clue number 1 for us, so I'll just go through what the supplies that I'm using tonight. So I've got my thick card base, 5.5 by 8.5, and it is scored at 4 1/4. And let's see, basic white cardstock. I've got that 4 by 5 1/4. colored cardstock layers. So I've got one that is 5 by 2.5. I've got one that's 4 by 2.5. I've got one that's 3.5 by 1.5. Oh, and this is Pebbled Path. Sorry, I'm using Pebbled Path because I'm going to use the Gone Fishing DSP. And then I've got a 2.5 by 1.5. Okay, and then Designer Series paper. I have got several different ones. I've got, I can use either side. So this is the 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. I have got the 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And I've got 3 1/4 by 1 1/4. So those are those. A basic white cardstock that's 2 1/4 by 1 1/4. So there's that. I am using Pebbled Path as my Stampin' set. I'm using Charming Sentiments for my stamp pad. I am using the Classic Matte Dots for my embellishments because it's going to kind of be a more masculine card. So those are the things that I'm using. Oh, and an envelope. I didn't grab my envelope. So sorry, I forgot to grab my envelope. But yes, you should have your envelope with you too so that you can decorate that. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to take this all back. I'm going to use the Hey There. This one right there, just because, like I said, I'm going to kind of make a masculine card. That's why I'm going to use the Pebbled Path and the fishing stuff. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Okay. There you go. Clue number 2. Okay. Stamp the sentiment on the basic white layer that measures 2 1/4 by 1 1/2 with ink. So that's the tiny, tiny piece of white that we had. And I'm going to use the Hey There and the Pebbled Path. So I'm just going to ink this up. And I'm just going to stamp it right down in the center. Okay, simple enough. I will clean that off later. There's not much stamping in this one. Not much stamping at all. So we're just going to stamp our greeting there. What stamp set are you guys using? I want to hear what stamp sets and what DSP you guys are using. So, okay, we're going to set that aside for a second. Clue number 3. Add the basic white layer in clue number 1 to the colored cardstock layer that, oh, I got a typo, that measures 2 1/2 by 1 1/2. Okay, so we have got a piece of the Pebbled Path that it should fit right on top of there. So I'm just going to use my liquid glue because you know that's my fave. If you've watched me before, it has a little bit of movement to it so you can kind of get around there. Also, I've started a newsletter, customer newsletter. So if you're interested in receiving my newsletter and you don't already, please message me your email so I can add you to my newsletter list. It's something new that I'm trying, and I want to make it more fun and enjoyable for you guys. So I'm asking for some feedback and would love for you to join me and give me some feedback. So let's put this one away and we'll set this aside. Clue number 4. Add the 3 pieces of Designer Series paper to the coordinating colored cardstock layers. Okay, so we've got our 3 cardstock layers and we've got our 3 DSP layers. Okay, so it's telling us to go ahead and layer these on the coordinating one. And this is where you guys get to have a little bit of fun. So I'm going to look and see what I want to put together. Kind of need that. Okay, And then this little one's going to go horizontal. So I'm going to probably not use the fish because they're swimming upstream. So I'll probably go ahead and use this. But let me see this one. Nope. Well, let me see here. So I could use the fish on the smaller piece and do this on the larger piece. No, I think I want the fish to be like one of the main focal points. So I'm going to make the fish the focal point, and I'm going to do that. Okay, so now we're just going to glue. So just a little bit of liquid glue on there. And so there's a lot of exciting things going on. Yep, I've got crafts and cocktails coming up at the Cellar on Thursday night in Salina. So if you haven't been to one of those, I do have a few seats that are still available. So please message me if you're interested in that. It is a very fun evening, and the Cellar has amazing drinks and mocktails. So if you're not into cocktails, they do make some amazing mocktails too. So let me know if you're interested in that. And then later in the month, we'll have Kits and Coffee at Sips again. So there we go. I know the hardest part is deciding which side you want to use, isn't it? It's very hard to figure out. Just texting a little bit here so I can let people know that that link is not working still. I know it's difficult. Maybe I should go back to Facebook Live. Everyone was having trouble finding me on Facebook Live, so I went to YouTube Live, and now we're having trouble with YouTube Live. So I don't know. I'm just not very tech savvy, but I'm trying, and I want to reach out to you. So hopefully whatever's easiest for you guys will work. If you can't tune in, you can always watch this at a later time. So that's the good thing, is you don't have to tune in right at 7 and do the live, but it is kind of fun to interact with people. Okay, hopefully you've got all of that done. And let's go to clue number 5. Okay, so here we go. Clue number 5, take the largest DSP cardstock layer and add them to the left side of the basic white layer. Okay, so we've got that basic white layer there, and it's telling us to take the largest one and place it on the white on the line with the left-hand side, but leaving a little bit of a border. So I'm going to add a little more glue. And we're going to line it up or leave about 1/4 of an inch on the left. So there is that. Got that down. So hopefully as people tune in, they can just follow along, and then they can replay it and catch up if you didn't tune in right at 7 because that link wasn't working correctly. So I apologize. Like I said, I try to do everything correctly, and it just never works out like that. Oh my goodness. I think if I didn't have a husband who knew stuff about computers, I wouldn't even have a computer at home. I seriously think that. Seriously. Okay, let's go on to the next clue. I don't know. Technology. Oh. Okay, here's a long one. Let's move this down. Clue number 6. Take the second largest DSP cardstock layer and add it to the basic white layer, overlapping the first DSP cardstock layer with adhesive. Again, leave space between the DSP cardstock and the right side of the basic white layer. Okay, so this is just telling us that we need to, we're going to adhere this on top of this, but leave about 1/4 of an inch on the right hand side. So just going to do that. And so we're going to overlap those. Maybe I should have made this the fish, because that would show maybe more of the fish. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, you kind of see him peeking out. So you kind of get the idea that it's fish. And you can see their tails and stuff. But anyway, so there's that. So far, so good. Everybody's staying, or at least watching. So, okay. That looked like a long clue, but it really wasn't very long. Here's 7. Take the last DSP cardstock layer and lay it across the other 2 with adhesive centered on the front of the card. And this should say horizontally. So we're going to lay it across here. Okay, horizontally. So, and you're going to love this. You're going to want to go back and make several of these and use up all of those designer series paper scraps. See how that just fits really nice right there? There. If you guys can, go ahead and comment. Hey, Joyce, I'm glad you were able to join in. I appreciate it. Sorry about the confusion. I'm glad you made it. So here, what do you think of that? Isn't that cute? So you guys are going to want to collect all your DSP scraps and stuff and make some of these cards, because this is going to be a really cute, simple card. And as long as you have the measurements, which is in clue number 1, which I showed at the beginning, or you can pop over to my Facebook and print it out, either way, or email me and I can messenger it to you. But you're going to want to use all of these fun DSP pieces. I thought this one would be great because I don't make a lot of masculine cards. I was talking about that at my Stampers Club, and we did a masculine card. I was like, you know what? I don't do a lot of them, so it's kind of hard. I don't think about it. And so I finally got this Gone Fishing stamp set and the fish, just to kind of push me out of my comfort zone. Okay, add the basic white layer with DSP adhesive, or with the DSP cardstock, which is this, to the card base with adhesive. Add the, oh, no, sorry. Add the DSP, so this layer needs to go onto the card base. So we've got our card base here. And I've already scored it. Remember, this is our thick. Now, if you don't have thick, don't worry about it. Just use regular white cardstock. And I didn't bring my bone folder, so I'm just going to fold that. So it's saying to go ahead and put this on this. Now, if you wanted to, if you didn't want the added dimension, you could certainly just do this as a white card. Like you could actually adhere all of this to just the regular card. And I'm going to show you a sample of that when we're done here, when we get to our finished card. See, it just adds a little bit of dimension because you can kind of see where it's layered. So see that? So do you think that's worth it or not worth it? Because you could have just stuck everything down to the actual card base. You guys, let me know what you think. It does add a little bit of dimension, even though it's white on white. It does give it a little more stability too, because the thick cardstock is a lot thicker, a better, sturdier card base. Oh, there's another typo. I miss my typos. My goodness. Add the sentiment layer in the center of the card with dimensionals. Oh, and of course, the one thing I forgot was dimensionals. And of course, you know me, I'm using scraps of dimensionals. So I use all of the outsides. So as you can see, I just use the outside because you don't want to waste any dimensionals. I mean, heaven forbid. They're dimensionals. So I'm just going to go ahead and put those on the back here. Set that aside. I leave the nice dimensionals for my customers to play with. But at home, I use the scraps. Okay, add the sentiment layer in the center. So it wants to be in the center. So I think I'll just put it right there. And that kind of pops it up a little bit. So that adds another layer of dimension. So it kind of pops up a little bit. What do you think of that? Isn't that cute? I love this card. I love it. It's so good for a masculine card, and that's just using the DSP. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to make some more of these, and I can't wait to see what DSP you guys used. You guys are always sending me your pictures, and I love them. I try to share them over on Facebook. So if you go over to my Facebook page, I try to share all of the samples over there. So hopefully you can pop over there. Okay. Add embellishments. Okay. So I grabbed the matte dots since it's kind of masculine. How many times can she say masculine? Let's see. And I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of these gray ones. I'm almost out of the gray ones. I think we used these at my last club, Stampers Club. That's why they're almost out. Oops. Come here, little man. There you go. I've always heard when you're doing embellishments to always add an odd number. So I tend to always do 3, but you could certainly do 5. So if you really want to bling it up, that's just the rule I heard, and I don't know who sets that rule, but some craftier person than me decided that it looks best when you use an odd number of embellishments. So take that as you will, or don't take it. Either way. But look at our beautiful card. How cute is that? Now the only other thing is, okay, you can stamp. So depending on, since I'm just using a word stamp, I didn't have really anything to stamp on the inside. So what I did was I just cut a little scrap of DSP to put on to decorate the inside of my card. And then also if you have a stamp set, you can use your stamp set to decorate your envelope. Usually I put a little bit of something. I didn't bring my envelope over, but you can use your DSP to decorate the flap of the envelope. I've seen a lot of people doing that. That just kind of ties the front of the card and the inside of the card together. Or you can stamp something in the bottom right-hand corner. And then on your envelope, if you're going to stamp the outside of your envelope, make sure you stamp the bottom left-hand corner. That way, because the post office uses the bottom right-hand corner. So if you're going to stamp something, make sure you use the bottom left-hand corner. What do you think? I can't wait to see your creations. I also thought, so I told you I would show you one without the extra layer. So here's what it looks like without the extra layer. So what do you think? Do you think there's a big enough difference? I don't know. I kind of like the extra layer, but is it worth a quarter of sheet of cardstock just to add that layer? I'm not sure for sure. But look, this one has the little, the different DSP from that set. What do you guys think? Well, I cannot wait for you. Here is the host code right here. So if you want to place an order, remember on Wednesday is the stamp sale. So if there's stamp sets, there's not bundles, not a bundle sale or a suite sale. It's just stamp set sale. So if there are some stamp sets that you've been wanting to hook onto, well, Wednesday would be the day to do it. And you can use this host code, okay? T4QT9XW7, or reach out to me and I can send you a link so that you can link directly to it. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm so sorry that the other way didn't work. I'm going to reach out to some other demonstrators and see why that link didn't work and what I can do differently to make it easier for you next time. So I'm really sorry, and I hope that you go back and watch this from the beginning or check it out on my Facebook page, okay? Thanks, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.